Hey, how's it going, NinBuzz? My name is HydreigonMaster635, and today I am bringing you a Black and White 2 Ubers match I had against my buddy Tyler, also known as TrainerCoolT. So, taking a quick look at the teams, he is definitely rocking that dual weather, being the Tyranitar with the sand and the Kyogre with the rain. So, he's also running with them two very good sweepers, the Excadrill and the Kabutops. The Arceus could be a big problem if that thing is Extreme Killer and decides to set up a Swords Dance. Palkia, it could be Specs, it could be Scarfed, I don't know. Looking at my team, I have a specially defensive Dialga, physically defensive multi-scale Lugia, Scarfed Palkia, a Excadrill and a Tyranitar of my own, and a Mewtwo. So, thinking about leads, I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with my Mewtwo since I know it's a big threat to his entire team and I can pretty much punch holes through anything. So, I'm thinking, okay, he's just probably going to lead off with this Tyranitar, set up the Sandstream for both of us since it's kind of like dead weight to him. Maybe he can live a hit, maybe he can set up the Stealth Rocks, and that is exactly what he does. So, I'm going to go for the Time Sword effective Aura Sphere, and even though Mewtwo is an absolute monster, unfortunately Tyranitar is just that bulky. Plus, he gets the special defense boost from the Sandstorm being a rock type, and he will be able to live it, set up his Stealth Rocks, and that is kind of like because I do have the Excadrill, which can possibly Rapid Spin away if I get a window of opportunity. And that will preserve the multi-scale on my Lugia, which ain't that bad. So, like I said, this Tyranitar is kind of like dead weight to him, so he's just going to fodder it off to another Aura Sphere. Now, he's going to bring in his Excadrill, and I know Tyler, he likes to run this really specially defensive, really bulky Excadrill, and I know I've seen those kinds live Aura Spheres from this Mewtwo before. So he's going to straight up taunt my Mewtwo by setting up in his face, and I miss the Fire Blast, and now I'm kind of like staring down the barrel of a loaded gun called a +2 Excadrill in the sand, and that is very bad. So he's just going to go for an Earthquake. In hindsight, I probably could have gone into Lugia and used this Mewtwo more, because like I said, Mewtwo is an incredibly powerful Pokemon, and it doesn't really matter though, because now I'm going to go into Nachos, and I tell you what, guys, Nachos, he does not take shit from anybody. He's going to fire off his own Earthquake, an Adamant max attack. That Excadrill is completely obliterated. GG no re, buddy. Goodbye. So, that is really good for me. That big threat is out of the way. So, he's going to go into Mantine the Kyogre and set up the rain to stop my Excadrill punching holes throughout his entire team. So that's pretty good for him, because now I'm going to just go into my Palkia. Palkia is pretty good, kind of counter to Kyogre, because it does have a 4x resistance to water, being water and dragon type. Although Kyogre has Water Spout and he's at full health, full power, and that does like almost half to a quad resisted Pokemon. Oh my god, that's just ridiculously overpowered. So, I'm going to just go for a Thunder, just knowing that the Excadrill is gone. He really doesn't have anything else to take it. In comes the Kabutops. That thing is just completely destroyed, and that's good for me, because now he has pretty much nothing that can outspeed my Palkia, unless he has his own Scarf Palkia, which could speed tie with me. So, in comes the Arceus. I'm like, okay, you're a normal Arceus. I'm thinking you're probably Extreme Killer. You're probably going to set up a Swords Dance, predicting my switch out. So I might as well get some free damage in on you while I can. So I'm right. He sets up a Swords Dance, and now I'm going to switch on out of here into my Dialga to take a predicted Extreme Speed, obviously very well. Now, this next kind of section here is kind of hacksy, because right here, he does get paralyzed going for the Extreme Speed while I switch in. That didn't really matter as much, but I do go for a Dragon Pulse here, and I do score a critical hit. And I hope I can explain this section a lot better, because although it is hacksy, because he does get parahaxed again there, going for the Brick Break or the Earthquake to try to kill me. As you see here, he goes for the Extreme Speed. With that damage, I easily would have been able to live the 2 Extreme Speeds. Even if I didn't get that crit and he didn't get Parahax trying to go for the Brick Break or the Earthquake, I could have easily come in with my Excadrill, finished him off with an Earthquake, and that would easily take a Extreme Speed. So I'm sorry if that was kind of like hacksy, but hopefully I explained it well enough to make you realize it wasn't that big of a deal of hack. So Palkia's in here. I'm like, okay, if you're Specs, I'm dead. If you're Scarfed, I'll live. Turns out he kills me off, so I'm like, okay, good. You're definitely Specs, and that's good for me to know because now I know you have nothing that can outspeed my Palkia. So I'm going to go into my own Palkia, fire off a Spatial Rend, and if this thing wants to stay in here, it's dead. If he wants to switch out into his Kyogre, it's going to do massive amounts of damage. He does decide to go into Kyogre, and because of his incredible 140 special defense stat, he will be able to live it. Now, I know Spatial Rend, it has a high critical hit ratio, but I didn't want to risk it, and I didn't want to possibly die off to this Thunder, so I'm just going to go into my Lugia. I don't see an opportunity for me to Rapid Spin the rocks away, and all his physical attackers are gone, so I don't really need him too much anyway. So I'm just going to sack Lugia and then get a free switch back into my Palkia to take this thing out with a Thunder. So that's not too bad. Unfortunately, Lugia has to go down, which kind of sucks because Lugia is an incredibly good Pokemon. And yeah, but it's okay because I'm going to go into my Palkia, fire off the Thunder, and that should easily take out the Kyogre. If he decides to bring in the Palkia, that would get 2-hit KO'd, and that's just pretty good for me. So the Kyogre goes down, and now I have a very demanding 3-1 lead. And that's not too bad. So I'm going to just keep this Palkia in my back pocket just in case, because I know I can take him out with a Draco Meteor. So I'm just going to switch on out into my Godzilla, and I'm just going to sack this thing to the Spatial Rends while I set up my Sandstream, because I know I got to finish this game in style with my Excadrill, because me and Excadrill were bros. So like I said, critical hit ratios are high on Spatial Rend. He does score one there. Doesn't really matter too much because all it does is speed up the process of the match. So, yep, takes me out with another Spatial Rend, and now I will easily be able to get a free switch into my Excadrill and finish off this game in style, because Excadrill can take one Spatial Rend from a Specs Palkia just because of my weird EV spread. And yeah, fire off 2 Earthquakes to take this thing out, but Excadrill just proves how much of a man he is, and Nachos clean takes him out in 1 critical hit. So yeah, pretty good game, Tyler. Thank you for it, and that will be the game for today. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you sub to NinBuzz. Go check all these guys out because they helped me put this layout together. Zouse54 at DeviantArt for most of my pictures in the team preview. PokeRemix Studio for the music. Sprites.pokecheck.org for the little sprite guys in my layout. Subscribe to NinBuzz. Check me out if you guys want to. Go check out Tyler or TrainerCoolT. Both of our links will be in the description. And thank you guys for watching. Deuces.